Hello everyone, my name is Tian and I'm currently a PhD student from the Immersive Interaction Group at EPFL. Here I will present you our study on the effect of reclining horizontal plane on VR sickness and experience in a lying down position. As you can see from the title, cyber sickness is our main topic and a adverse effect that can occur during a VR experience, leading to unpleasant symptoms. Typically, the user often plays in either standing or seated when experiencing VR. However, it can be necessary to confine individuals to the supine posture when it comes to studying human brain phenomena with VR settings, such as monitoring participant brain activities using fMRI. They may also necessary to apply VR in a lying down posture for rehabilitation or entertainment purposes of the disabilities, etc. Recent studies have identified several factors that could potentially influence cyber sickness, and posture is among one of the key factors. According to the literature review, a majority of papers have focused on cyber sickness in either seated or standing posture. Naturally, people will think of which posture is the most comfortable, or in other words, the least cyber sickness inducing. It is well known that players will feel less cyber sick when seated. A paper from Julian Marigo et al. Indicating that people are more sick in the supine posture than the seated one, even the experienced users. So why? Our assumption is that different sensory systems receive different coordinated information may lead to cyber sickness. Together with the assumption, we further propose and formulate a possible explanation into a kind of sensory conflict. That is a disparity between visual cues indicating the upward direction in the virtual environment and eideothetic cues indicating that the user is in fact lying down physically in the real world may lead to more severe cyber sickness. To sum up, the main goal of this study are threefold. First of all, to investigate whether specific game design without identified conflict could mitigate cyber sickness in the supine posture. Secondly, we also thought of taking this chance to explore the most comfortable game design for the lying down posture. Hence, we introduced a second factor as a game type or acceleration. Finally, we want to see how different game designs perform in terms of user game experience. With the goals bear in mind, we move on to the experimental design. As you can see, the left design is the original design from Julian's Marigo's paper, and on the right is a new design that we proposed. So on the left, even though the virtual world vertical direction is aligned with the body spine, however, as the inner ear keeps sensing the natural environment, the real world axis, which is displayed in the middle, will conflict with the axis that people see. So with such assumption, we want to maintain the consistency between the real and virtual world axis, which results in a new design on the right side. In order to find the optimal design for lying down position, we also included game type as a factor. As a result, the experiment is designed to be a 2 multiplied 2 within subject factor design. Here's the demo of the static and dynamic game with the body axis design. So you can see that the users use the controllers to point and link the stars. And for the dynamic game, the user will move either left or right to avoid the stars or collect the stars. For the real vertical axis design or the horizontal design, we're trying to create a sensation of lying down in the virtual world as well. As a result, we recruited 30 participants aged between 18 to 27. Among them, 7 are females. None of the participants are experienced VR users. Since it's a within-subject design, each participant will go through all the sessions. The experiment takes place over the course of 2 different sessions, around 45 minutes each. Each session is conducted on 2 different days, with a minimum interval of 1 day and maximum up to 3 days. For each session, a participant plays both of the games, with the same virtual vertical axis design for 3 minutes. A mandatory 5 minutes break in between is required. Participants always start with the static game. During the sessions, we use simulator sickness questionnaire and game experience questionnaire to measure the cyber sickness and game experience. Through the statistical analysis, we find significant difference between the SB and DB conditions, also between DV and DB conditions. In conclusion, we find that the new design is effective to mitigate VR sickness in a lying down position, especially for games with acceleration. Also, we confirm that static games are less sickness inducing. This is in line with the findings in previous papers. Also, it is worth to mention that this experiment showcases the importance of collecting information about the subject's pre-stats of health before they intervene, because we find that people's pre-SSQ scores are high to consider as sick. For example, the horizontal dynamic game actually has the highest average pre-SSQ score among all. The statistical result of the GEQ's total score did not show any proof that one posture outperformed the other. Regarding the game type, people show significantly more interest in a static game than the dynamic ones. However, the results are only applied to our specific designs. In light of the sensory conflict theory, we proposed new conflicts that might potentially lead to cyber sickness when users experience VR in the supine posture. In order to investigate our assumption, we implemented two kinds of VR games, one in which the virtual coordinate system is aligned with the real-world coordinate system, another one in which the virtual vertical direction is perpendicular to the real-world one. Also, leveraging the findings in the previous studies that visual acceleration can escalate the sensory conflict between visual and vestibular systems, we introduced the static and dynamic games to explore whether such a game design factor could mitigate cyber sickness for a lying down VR game experience. Results indicating that aligning the virtual and the real-world coordinate system is effective in mitigating VR sickness in the supine posture. Additionally, games without acceleration or deacceleration presented a less sickness-inducing experience for the participants. Regarding the game experience, our results were in accordance with previous findings that there is a negative correlation between the degree of cyber sickness and a positive gaming experience. Moreover, even though using a pre-SSQ remains disputable, our experiments showcase the importance of collecting information about the subject's stats of health before the experiment. In future studies, it could be interesting to explore different types of interactions and navigation methods to improve the game experience and mitigate cyber sickness while taking the correct characteristics of such a special user pose into consideration. Thank you for your attention. Any questions?